Yes, guys, welcome back to the Spurs-related YouTube channel. We are nearly halfway through the international break. We are getting to the first weekend, or the middle weekend, I should say. And so, obviously, the Spurs games have stopped for a while, so that side of the game is a little bit quieter. But we've got a little bit of news to talk about today with investment, and then we'll get some more videos out, hopefully in the next week or so, on what that could lead to. Maybe the idea of Semenyo or someone like that coming to Tottenham. So if you want to see that, then make sure you do these 3 free favors for me. And that is hit the like button down below. It is obviously free to do and means a lot to the pair of us, me and James. Subscribe and last but not least, turn on notifications so you never miss an upload from the pair of us or a stream, which I'm pretty certain that James is going live this evening. I will not be there, but James is going live this evening. I think he's working on a guest to join him, but I'm not 100% sure on that just yet. But yeah, so tonight, not sure what time yet, he will be there. So once you've watched this video, if you're watching it and we're live now, then go and check out the live. Go and let James know you've come from this. Yeah, because that is much appreciated. But let's get into the main sort of part of what I want to talk about. We got this statement this morning from Tottenham. It said, "We are pleased to announce that our majority shareholder, the Lewis Family Trust, has through ENIC Sports and Development Holdings Ltd, ENIC, injected £100 million of new capital into the club." They also said, I'm not sure, no, it wasn't on this one, but I think they said on Instagram, this is an initial investment, hinting that there is going to be more, and this is not at the end. Alistair Gold then said this is the first chunk of funding from the Lewis family, with more money being made available as Vinay, Johan Lange, and Thomas Frank work together to get what they need going forward at Spurs, which is, listen, it's good news, right? This can't be bad news, I guess, is the best way of putting it. There's a bit of an article from Ben Jacobs, who obviously we've had on here previously this summer. He said the money isn't solely a transfer kitty. The funds are with a view to create financial strength and sustainability. And there is a sign that Tottenham is not for sale, which has obviously been made very clear recently by the ownership. We were kind of hoping, and I still think the club will be sold at some point. Maybe it's going to be a little longer than I thought it was going to be. But I personally, just as a hunch, don't think that they will still be here in 5 years' time, ENIC and the Lewis family. But I think they're in a position now where they are maybe looking like they could spend some money. I find it hard to believe, given that they haven't done it for the last 25 years, that why is that going to change all of a sudden, really, now that Levy's gone? I don't really get it, but that's my hunch. Ben Jacobs went on to say that some of the £100 million will go towards strengthening the squad, both now and in the future. The intention is to invest in the club through additional equity rather than adding to the debt. As a result, these funds further boosted Tottenham's balance sheet. So, for any of you that study economics or, anything financial, then that will make a whole lot of sense to you. I do myself, and I still don't really get what's going on. But it's good news, right? It's good news. They are investing money into it. That they want to obviously provide to set up the club longer term, which is good. The argument is that £100 million is still only really a drop in the ocean, probably in comparison to what the big clubs are investing, and what you need to invest to probably reach the very top. And that is okay. That will come. That will happen. I have no hope, or you've got to hope that will happen, I should say. If that does happen, then fantastic, and maybe we'll get back on board with ENIC. But right now, I'm still very skeptical. I don't think that this is the be all and end all. I think there will be more to come, but I'm still very skeptical that why, in the last 24 years, they've barely invested a penny. I think it was like an average of £10 million a season or something. And then all of a sudden they're going to go and invest 100 million now, and this ain't the end of it. And so I'm a little bit skeptical of what's to come. I'm hoping it's positive. As I say, this is only positive news, I guess. This isn't negative, unless you view it as, well, they're not going to sell now, which in that case is negative. And I look at it partially from that viewpoint. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that respect, because I was hoping the club would go soon. Obviously, we found out the other day that Brooklyn ENIC was not one that was going to buy it. He'd obviously put out a lot on social media and sort of made it look like he wanted to buy the club. And I think it was probably a little bit of a PR stunt and having a bit of fun, which is a bit silly, I think, personally. But yeah, so that obviously didn't happen. There was the Amanda Stavley, her group as well. So there's a few of them that obviously haven't happened. And I think there was one with, I want to say, an American and a Chinese businessman, I want to say, who are obviously working together. And that was also, they didn't make an offer, but sort of a proper formal offer in that regard. So yeah, as of right now, they obviously maintain the club is not for sale, which is, as I say, a bit disappointing. But if this is the way they're going to move on, and this is the way they're going to do things by investing and by helping actually fund and longer term success is the goal, then that's fantastic. That's what I want. Obviously, that's what everyone wants. You know, I don't really care who's in charge. I want to see Tottenham being successful. I understand obviously moral standpoints from different countries backing you and things, and I get that totally. As I've said before, I think morals in football died a long time ago. And so I want to see Tottenham be successful. I want to see Tottenham hit heights that they haven't hit in recent times. But I think they have the potential to hit. I think that the Premier League is there's obviously a lot of money being spent, but I think it's probably at a stage for the first time in a while, actually, where there isn't one dominant winner. You know, you look through the top teams this year, and obviously Arsenal, I would argue probably right now, as sad as it is, look the most solid of the three. And obviously City and Liverpool there or thereabouts. Chelsea are kind of slowly climbing up again, and obviously spent a ridiculous amount of money in the last couple of years. And so there's not one set winner, and so it's quite open. And I think if Tottenham were to start spending big money, I don't think they're a million miles away from being kind of there or thereabouts. They've got to spend a lot to get to that point where they can win the league. But I think they're in a position now where they're probably the fifth best team in the Premier League or the sixth best team in the Premier League. And that's the way I see it. So I don't think they're a million miles away from being top. I still think they're a good couple hundred, maybe 400 and 500 million from being at the top, because we saw how much Liverpool spent and City spent and whatever. Certainly this summer and the last couple of years, same with Chelsea as well. And Arsenal, all four of them really have all spent significant amounts of money. I mean, Arsenal fans will tell you that they have owners that don't back them, but spends 450 million or whatever silly number they spent this summer. And so, yeah, we're a long way off being at that point. We need to buy more experience. We need to have players that are hitting their peak or are young and going into their peak, but talented now. Xavi Simons types, Mohamed Kudus types. That's really important, I think, and building a squad that clicks. And they're doing that currently. But I still think they're a bit of a way off. I think they need probably a striker still to pair with Solanke when he's not fit, or vice versa. I still think they're a little bit of a way off. So it's important that this sort of investment does continue. Just quickly as well, this was part of the statement. They said, we're pleased to announce that our majority shareholder, read that bit, this equity injection will further strengthen the club's financial position and equip the club's leadership team with additional resources to continue to focus on driving long-term sporting success. This additional capital is part of the Lewis family's ongoing commitment to the club and its future. So it's the ongoing commitment that they have kind of spoken about in the past, and how they want to keep the club and want it to be theirs. Which is, listen, as I say, if they are genuinely committed to the cause and they are genuinely committed to making Tottenham a top side, then I am not complaining. Because I say, I want Tottenham to be a top side. If it's with ENIC and they are going to turn them into a top side, then I will sit here and buy into it. Great. Right now, I don't buy into it whatsoever. I think it's probably all... I think a lot of it's probably just PR, to be honest with you. It's obviously good and it's big money and that's fantastic. I am a little bit reluctant to really get excited and buy into this, as I was with when Daniel Levy left, just because I think until that change is really there, not a lot really changes. And that sounds pretty silly to say, but it's true, right? Until we get new ownership or whatever, these are the same guys that have been here for the last 25 years. That there were banners up all around the ground saying we want Levy and ENIC out. It wasn't just Daniel Levy; it was ENIC as well. And these guys are still here in the Lewis family, and it does feel like they're switching their name a little bit to the Lewis family, maybe to avoid the ENIC term and sort of distance themselves from that. But yeah, I think to be honest, I think this is probably only good news, right? Unless you, as I say, you view it from the point where you're unhappy they're not getting bought, which I am a little bit. But yeah, I think it's good news in terms of they're investing, and hopefully it will continue. But if you want things to continue, like videos on this channel, then that was a fantastic segue. I'm proud of that one. Then please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. As I said at the start, it means a lot to me and James as we're trying to push the content this season and get out as much as we can for you. Obviously, we will try and get some more bits out over the international breaks. Obviously, with the quieter period. As I said, go and watch James's stream tonight. Go and send him some love. Tell him you came from this video if you did. As I say, I won't be there, but make sure you give him a lot of love. Send in your questions to him. Obviously, you've got your memberships and super chats over there, and that is all massively appreciated if you can contribute financially, which obviously you're not obliged to do, but it means a lot. So over there, that is much appreciated. And I'm sure he'll talk to you about that later on. But as I say, if you have enjoyed this video, please do those three things. And let me know, do you buy into what ENIC are doing, or do you think it's a load of old nonsense? Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Come on, you Spurs.